most of the students are not expanding their vision, because to move to a very high position at a very young age, you have to, it may take you 30 years to reach a place which we want you to achieve in 5 years. So you have to speed up 6 times. Your other class fellow will become a, say, a general manager, CEO in 30 years, which you want to become in 5 years. So it's just natural that if he's going to take his time and you're going to run fast, so you have to run 6 times faster. If you have the same speed as your other colleagues in engineering or MBA or whatever, then it would not match. This is something natural. That wherever, if you go to Harvard or MIT, you see the people going for Harvard, MIT, Wharton, Cornell, John Hopkins, Kellogg School, I mean, they have to run fast. If you go to a normal college, University of Miami, University of Houston, then you will just work on a normal basis. But like if one project is done in University of Houston, then in Wharton or MIT, they do 20 of them. You see, so the people working at, yes, okay, you can say that Bill Gates, he went to Harvard, but he dropped out for a reason. Not everybody can drop out like this. You could not drop out after your 15 years and 3 semesters. That, okay, I've studied this thing, but I'm not going to get a degree and I will go do my business. No. But here, it's a different mechanics that you have to have. So that's why I'm saying that, all these energy related and the policies, it's very important that you spend time on these things. You improve your things. Anything, you can always call me, that if you don't understand or you need some information or some matter that relates to your growth. So here, the global energy industry, the industry dynamics, the trends, you need to know, because suppose you are working in a company and you are telling them to put a gas power plant, only to find out the gas policies are changing. So you have to be aware what is happening. You have to read the newspapers. So all these things are part of your life, part of your growth, because you have chosen this class, this course, and the objectives of this course. Next, energy industry. The energy industry is a very vast. This is of all the industries in the world. There could be an industry which is textile. It doesn't relate to everything. There is one is education industry and the other is energy, which relates to everybody. Everybody gets affected by the energy side, because whether it's a steel mill, a train, a bullet train, rapid transport, aeroplanes, everything relates to energy. Without energy, it's a lifeline of the society. It cannot move. So you are in a sector which affects everything. Aeroplane, not everybody is interested in aeroplane. Some people go in aeroplane, some don't. But when it comes to cooking, heating, life, energy is one of the most important things. So for that, it's a very vast subject. So you need to understand this vast subject, that you are building a hydropower plant only to find out there is a stay order because of some environmental reason or some people have got affected. So you cannot say that I don't know about law. You have to on yourself also study law. So these are the matters that that will come to you as you grow. But you need to grasp these things on a very fast track basis. On a very fast track basis, you have to understand these things, and these things will only come with the hard work. These will not come with an easy life, because this is your choice that you are here. The petroleum, you see, and also textile is one thing. If you are of course, in textiles, weaving and painting and all these things. Similarly, in oil and gas sector, hydro sector, nuclear sector, there is mining, there is various kinds of transformations that takes place. That you have oil and gas as a mineral. Then that chemical energy you convert into a mechanical energy. Mechanical energy converts into electrical energy. It comes to your home. Again, that you run a motor at your home, that electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy. Then it creates into potential energy where you put the water on the roof. Then it comes back. So all these things are for you to understand. Not become experts on these because you are here to manage those things. So that's the reason that you need to understand the full life cycle or the food chain of the energy sector. What affects the gas sector affects hydro itself. The hydro affects the oil sector. The oil sector affects the energy sector. The energy sector affects the solar. So they are all commingled as well. So it could be the fuel extraction, which is oil and gas exploration, mining of coal, manufacturing, refining, distribution, transportation, storage. So there is a multifaceted issues in the oil and gas and electrical sector, as well as the use of it, utilization. The petroleum industry, including oil companies, refinings, transportation, end users, gas stations. There was a time where you have to get a license to get a nozzle, to get a petrol pump. What is a petrol pump? And then if you have 5 nozzles and you want to get a 6th nozzle, you have to have a license from the federal government. So if your petrol pump was in Chaghi or Gawadar, or from there you have to all the way come to Islamabad to get these nozzles. So that how much it was difficult to do business. But with the passage of time, things are becoming easier, and the governments and the people and the press and the public are working to make life still easier. On 24th of November, there was a CCI meeting, Council of Common Interest, and there they decided to further devolve things to the provinces. So it's a lot easier for a businessman, because you see, you want to do a business, but if you want to do a business and somebody tells you that you have to go all the way to Karachi to get a small license, you say, who can do it? But if you know that all you have to go to Peshawar from Chakkara, then you will be much more encouraged. That was also one of the reasons for slow growth of industrialization and entrepreneurs, where they want to work, they want to do things, but the massive amount of paperwork required and the massive amount of travel and going to Islamabad, and for customs you had to go all the way to Karachi, that became very deterrent for the businessmen. However, with the passage of time, you have warehouses, you have custom clearance in Peshawar, you can have custom clearance in your factory. If it's a bonded warehouse, you can have it in your factory, so that lives are becoming easier and easier with the passage of time, and there's also challenges and more opportunities for the people. The gas industries, the gas, same thing. You have various aspects of gas that you understand already. I need not go, but you have to yourself find out through various publications that what are the intricacies of that, what are the complexities of that, because your job, when you are a CEO or a general manager, it's like an OPD. It's one person coming and you're signing off yes, no, like OPD, like a doctor. So there are, outside the doctor, there are 70 people sitting, and he's coming and say, okay, aankh mein dekh ke batata hai, okay, this medicine, okay, pet, this medicine, heart, this medicine, dant, this medicine. So he is a very intelligent person, and he looks at the person, he sees the medical report, and he gives a medicine. Right from your hair down to your toe, which is only this much of machine, he is giving you every medicine. But if you become an energy, inshallah, manager, so you have he can see you, the doctor can see a patient, he can touch him, he can look in the eyes, in the ears, in the mouth, get a medical report, blood test, this. But here you have to make a decision. There are people coming from the supply chain, engineering, procurement, from so many departments of your company that you have to make a decision. So that's why you see your vision should be much bigger. Your power of thinking, your power of decision, your power of grasping things, your power of analyzing things has to be much faster. Before some of you people came, I was telling your other colleagues that your other friends may take 30 years to become a CEO, but you are here to become a CEO in 5 years. So you have to run 6 times faster than him. If he sleeps 6 hours, you should sleep 1 hour in a day. You know, that's how you will be achieved. And you have to have a lot of energy. Not come at 8 o'clock. We were supposed to be here by 7:30. If I can come at 7:30, and as a CEO, you have to have a lot of energy. If you want to stay as a junior engineer all your life, then you don't have to have that much of energy. But if you want to go higher and you want to get big fat salaries and a very good life, then definitely you have to sacrifice something. And you have to sacrifice your sleep also. And you have to sacrifice some of your easiness, your relaxed life. You also have to sacrifice that. Because, of course, you know, destiny is something else. If Allah Ta'ala has made you destined to become a CEO in 3 years, you will become a CEO. I mean, you know, maybe in your office everybody goes up and you are the only one left, so you become CEO. Those are little irrational thinking, and things may happen in life. You know, people have become CEO at the age of, even in Pakistan, there are companies with very important companies with chief executives. They are only BA, but just the life happened that they were there at the right time and they became CEO. But that's not the norm. You cannot relax that I'll be sitting at home watching television and doing my Facebook, and suddenly one day I'll get a call from Chief Minister that come and you are a CEO of KPOGCL or PETO. That will not happen, I assure you, right? But you need to work on a normal thing, that you have to work very hard to become a CEO, and you have to have a very, very wide vision. So this is the list of various industries. Not that this is exhaustive. This is just to click your minds that you have to really draw up your life cycle of the energy sector. So what you people need to do for me next time when you, inshallah, come on next Sunday, that for these 6 points you draw me a life cycle diagram. A life cycle diagram that you understand. I've been going through the case studies and projects and some of the questions, some of the exams, and I'm getting this emails that you could not find a strategic plan for company X. The strategic plan is in your mind, not on Google, not in the minds of MD SNGPL, not in the mind of MD PSO. That strategic plan should be in your mind. So if it's in your mind, how can you find it on Google? How can you find it in annual report of SNGPL or PSO or Atak Refinery or Pakistan Oilfield or OGDCL? So the reason of these questions were that what you think that's important, what you think, how you think is important. So many things you cannot find the answers anywhere else except your own mind and heart. So this also, this life cycle, that how you start the exploration, production, till the utilization, just bring me your own thought. It's easy to go on a Google and maybe find a chart or graph or flow diagram, but this time you think yourself that how does it happen? How does these things happen? How did I get this electricity? Where did these LED lights, I think, where I'm getting the light?
till I get the, what are you getting here? This white paper, what are these, what is coming? How many of you know? Electrical engineers हैं? क्या आते हैं? What is this? मतलब ये वो बिजली कहीं पैदा हो रही तरबेला में, वहाँ से करते करते इस पेज पे क्या आके गिर रही है? अच्छा, लाइट कैसे मेजर करते हैं? How do you measure light? What are the units for light? What's the value for electricity? Kilowatt hour and kilowatt. And what's the unit for light? Lumens. कितने lumens आ रहे हैं? So, I mean, you see, so that's the life cycle that you need to think. That's how the deep thinkers work. So, I mean, these are, you know these things. I'm 100% sure that you know how things you have read in your engineering, you have read in your other courses, but I think it's also in the 9th or 10th class that how this happens, how do we get electricity. But you need to think of a process that is at your level. Next. What is the global landscape? I was telling your colleagues before that to work in KP at a very high level, it's not only that you know about KP, you have to get to Singapore, you have to get to Paris, you have to get to New York. Without interacting with international players, it's not possible to develop KP. Living here in Peshawar only would not make the targets what the nation demands from you. So for that you have to have access to the newspapers. You have to access to the various publications and workings of international people. That how does these affect? Like if PEDO is working on solar and it doesn't know where the solar is going, where the solar technology, so some Chinese will come and sell them a very, very poor quality. And they will be happy. But where the technology has gone, where the efficiency has gone, where the unit, there's a big debate going on with NEPRA and some of the investors on the tariff. There have been tariffs in India and Dubai, 2.6 cents per kilowatt hour. And here we are demanding for 14 cents. So NEPRA doesn't know. Even the people at NEPRA are not well read. Even the people in NEPRA don't have that expanded information base that what is the price in Pakistan. You see, it could happen that in Dubai they are getting, I think this is now down to even 2 cents, 1.96 cents per kilowatt hour. But Dubai may have given a lot of tax incentive, may have given land free, may have given duty free, and I don't know what else they have given. So they have dropped the price down to 1.96 cents per kilowatt hour, which is very cheap. I mean, if you can get electricity at 2 rupees, fantastic. Today we are paying 14 rupees and the industry is paying 18 rupees. So there's a big gap between 2 rupees and 14 rupees. So you can save 12 rupees as your disposable income and you can spend it somewhere else. So that's the requirement. But we don't know, and somebody has to do research, especially people at NEPRA, that okay, I'm giving for, you know, these people, these industrialists, these investors are asking for to give them 14 rupees, and I'm giving them 2 rupees. What's the disconnect? What is happening? Why is maybe they have to pay some income tax? Maybe they have to buy land in Karak. We bought land in Karak for not we. FWO bought land in Karak for the refinery. 500 acres. It's 25 crore rupees. If the investor has to spend 25 crore rupees just on the land, he said, I'll go somewhere to Rahinger Khan or Bhalpur. Why am I coming here? The land is so expensive because people who want to give land, they are making a fuss that if the land here, which is one is Nehri, all you know, one is Barani, one is Banjar, and one is Ghair Mumkin Banjar. That never a transaction has taken place. Even those people are demanding for a very high rate of something like 50,000 rupees per canal. and which nobody has bought or sold in that land. And also, we have a number of revenue issues in Pakistan, which we'll discuss one of these times, but not today. So if that is the situation, that if you have to, if industry comes and they have to put 24 crore rupees, they get a little worried about this whole thing, about investments. So, so you need to understand the dynamics right from the grass level at Karak, what is happening in Karak, up to the international levels of OPEC and Vienna to make a decision. Because if you decide on a PIDO side or KPOGCL or any industry or the government that you want to go for solar, then you have to have a vision of the technology, the pricing, why this pricing, why not this pricing, why solar has become so cheap in India. Because they have started manufacturing. We are only assembling, but they have started manufacturing. And when you manufacture, obviously the engineer in India is getting a salary of say 1 lakh rupees, and an engineer in China is getting 2 lakh rupees, and an engineer in Germany is getting 5 lakh rupees for the same job, so the price will be lower. So that's the advantages of indigenous production. But as a decision maker, as a Secretary of Energy and Power, as CEO of PIDO, as Finance Secretary, one has to understand the dynamics of these things. So similarly, you have to understand the dynamics of the global energy landscape. What is going up and down? You want to invest in solar and only to find out that technology has become obsolete and a new technology has come up. So for you to understand, for you to manage these things, you need to understand a number of dynamics. And of course you have people. You have people at PIDO, at the ministry level, at the finance level to do your homework, to make analysis, to make summaries, and you need to guide them that what do you need. So you need to give them parameters that I need this, why Dubai is cheap, why India is cheap, why Germany has almost more than 60% renewables now. And here NTDC is telling us that we cannot have more solar. After 100 megawatts, the system will become unstable. The electrical engineers, anybody from the power system would know that there are ways to make the system stable when it is unstable. So all these things will come with experience. But who wants to wait for 30 years? Who wants to wait for 35 years to do this? You are here to get these things on a very fast track basis. So I just recommend and suggest to you people that you must do a lot of reading. I'm repeating, I think, the third time. And also, when you work, you have to work very attentively. It is not okay. It's okay to SMS with English, with shortcuts but not in the exams. You see, in the exams, I got exams. I think everybody got a 0 because I had put 99 marks for English and grammar, and nobody could achieve that. So it's very, very depressing for me that here, we got you people, and you people are so not that you cannot do. Everybody knows that pronoun is always a capital letter. You writing the name of Iftikhar, can you write with a small I? I've never seen that. Jawad, can anybody write with small with J? So, but these mistakes are all over. I keep on repeating, okay, please look at it, please revise it, please improve it. I'm getting back the same emails with one thing changed. So that's, I think that's unfair. I think you need to, all of them except one has to redo all the exams. And I will not leave you till you give me the perfect paper. I'm assured you. I can open emails 10 times for each of you, 25 times, 250 times every day. But don't worry, I can still keep on repeating we have to improve it. Similarly, you see the case study, certain questions you're going to ask, sir, aap batayein ki aapki kya strategy thi? Good. And certain things which whatever you have read, you have to give him a little suggestions and see his reaction. Because you are going to base your case study on some facts that you get from him, and some information that he's not telling you because you're not, he doesn't know that what you want, but you need to probe him. Like this FIA and Special Branch and MI and ISI, they ask questions, and the person reveals that this is the information. And that's what you need to investigate MDPSO like FIA does, not by beating him, but by talking to him. So you need to have a very, very crisp and very investigating questions to him. So you need to do thinking कि मैं कैसे इसको, you have to become a spy to really get what is going on. And of course, based on that, you have to develop a totally new that he doesn't know. He doesn't have time to think, maybe. He doesn't have the vision to think, which you have the vision to think. This is your strategic plan. This is your next plan. I think we'll break for breakfast. Breakfast is perhaps ready. Pehli slides mein chalenge. I sent you some SOPs, how to, because if I get without a telephone number, मैं कैसे आपको call करूँगा? ठीक है ना? But every is a very common, and I said कि when you're writing the subject, email में एक subject होता है. Open an email.
जैसे पता है.
अच्छा? अच्छा, I didn't know that. चले पता है, रहने देते. मैंने कहा आप UET लिखें, पेशावर लिखें, MSEMS ये लिखें, subject of your case study, whatever. उसके बाद उसका version देंगे, तो versions are changing. आपको versions पता है? क्या होता है? जो मतलब उसमें थोड़ी change जाती है. तो दूसरा version हो जाता है, फिर तीसरा version हो जाता है. आपकी मैट्रिक की किताब का पता नहीं 100th version चल रहा होगा क्योंकि with passion. उसके बाद date, put a date, because with each version the date is changing, and your name. Similarly for CS for case study, project, midterm exam, final exam, then the file name. Everybody is giving the file name case study. तो अगर मैं case study को case study पे save करता जाऊँ, तो जो last बंदा होगा उसकी case study होगी मेरे पास, और तो किसी की नहीं होगी. So you see, I want to, some of has sent me Word and also PowerPoint as well as Excel. So you need to write, these things up front, and the file name, whether the file जो आप attach करते हैं उसका जो topic क्या है उसके बाद कुछ version डालें, फिर नाम डालें उसका, so that मेरे saving में मुझे आसानी है, so that I'm saving in the name of Ijaz, Zahar, or Jawad, or Ahmad, or so that otherwise, the computer doesn't have the intelligence to save it automatically differently. So this is, I need not tell you into detail, but these are the important things that I will appreciate. First के बाद जब आप change करके मुझे भेजते हैं, जब मैंने आपको कहा कि correct की spelling capital K से लिखो, तो दूसरा version हो गया ना? Each time you send me an email of the same thing. You see, metric book is the same book coming, but every time there's a few things are changing, a chapters in and out, some expansions, contractions are happening. So it's each time the same thing. You want to send me once, twice, it's a different version. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Next. ये तो मैंने आपसे कह दिया कि आप अपना कुछ नाम शाम लिखें अपनी जो मतलब करते हैं, और एक पता पेज नंबर्स, अगर आप कोई किताब उठा के देखें तो उसमें पेज नंबर होते हैं, कोई स्टडी देखें उसमें पेज नंबर होते हैं, ठीक है ना? या तो आप पेज नंबर 1, 2, 3 लिखें या 2 of 14, 3 of 14 लिखें. आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ यू नो वर्ड में कैसे पेज नंबरिंग होती है. श्योर? पैरा नंबर होता है, सब पैरा नंबर होता है. एक मतलब ये खटा माता ने पका बस ये होते ना गाँव में बस लेके दे दिया बस. ठीक है ना? एक प्रोफेशनल काम करें, एक खूबसूरती उसमें लाए, एक प्रेजेंटेशन होती है उसकी. We have to send this for publication. We have to send it to various journals. We have to send it to the newspapers. We have to send it to those CEOs जो उसके साथ related हैं. Because this is जी MSEM कोई प्रोजेक्ट किया जी, प्रोजेक्ट किया, ये प्रोजेक्ट किया, तो पता लगा जी मेरे पास आते हैं लोग, प्रोजेक्ट किया, हाँ सर ये जेब से निकाल के इस तरह टिश्यू पेपर में वो कुछ बना होता है, कागज मोड़े होते हैं। मैं कहा 10 ये आप मुझे बता रहे हैं अपना प्रोजेक्ट, CVs लेकर आते हैं लोग, इस तरह 6 फोल्ड उसके किए हुए होते हैं, 7वां 8वां फोल्ड हो नहीं सकता क्योंकि साइंस नहीं अलाउ करती, वरना वो भी करके उसको इतना सा मतलब डिबिया में भर के ले आते हैं। दैट्स मेरे पास I get CVs and there are spelling mistakes. I immediately send them back. I say, sorry, do not apply to KPOGCL. I know he's a qualified, and he can go to the High Court, Supreme Court, and fight a case, and I will also fight a case. Okay, but if he cannot write his CV is your passport to enter an organization. And if your CV is poor, if your CV has spelling mistakes and grammatical mistakes, who wants to know? You may be, when we advertise, say you have to have a bachelor's degree in engineering, you have it. You have to have 3 years experience in oil and gas, you have it. So you have a right to interview, to get interviewed. I don't interview. And I've been called by chairman of RTI that this is unfair. I say, why? He said he qualifies these. I said, but his CV doesn't qualify. So he said, he's going to put a 25,000 penalty. I say, okay, so what? You put me penalty, I won't pay it. That's all. And it's 200 rupees per day after that. So I say, okay, I'm not going to pay it. I'll go to the High Court, and I'll even go to the Supreme Court for this thing. Where if that person who cannot write a CV does not qualify to enter KPOGCL. So I'll tell you what happened later on. So I mean the para number, the life, there has to be some line spacing between the 2 lines is 1.15, some 1.5. I mean I think it takes more time to have this different line spacing than 1 line spacing. So why make your life miserable by making it a very complex way to read? So I just request you, I won't repeat it, it's embarrassing, that the fonts should be, the text should have either 14 font, 12, 13, 11, whatever, just 1 font. You cannot have so many fonts in the one essay, one paper, or the headings should be a different font, bold, underline, some important things underline, bold, inverted commas, and also the text should be center aligned. I mean, aligned like this. Not one line is ending here, the other is ending there. So there is ways in Word, MS Word, to make it 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Some is 1 inch, some is 0.7 inch, some is 0.5. It is a very good excuse for me not to read it. So all of you have to go back to your drawing boards and do your case study properly, your project properly, as well as your exams, and then revert to me. And I've been asking, please CC Miss Rabia, but continuously she's not being CC'd. Then when I reply, I put her name. I mean, no, not so casualness. I mean, there's a very, very, I think the quality of work and the speed and it was also waste, a lot of our time, also yours and mine's, when we don't follow these things. You have come through a very, very competitive university, for 16 years of competitive exams, and then PTS or whatever here. So I expect I think UT expects much higher value than a normal MBA. Okay, so I am nashta karke for Pakistan, obviously we live in Pakistan, which is not a very, very rich country, it's still a poor country. और यहाँ पर एक debate चल रही थी, Ministry of Planning में भी, Ministry of Petroleum में भी, Water and Power में भी, as well as here. A lot of people who do not understand the dynamics of energy want to speak on that. The debate issue is what is the optimal energy mix of Pakistan. And the other debate is that our demand of our energy, traditional centers of demand, जो है कि हमें planning करनी चाहिए based on our demand or supply. When it comes to the energy mix, those countries which are very, very rich, they have excess energy, then they can decide whether I should have a nuclear power plant or not, whether I should have a further thermal plant or solar plant or not. But we are at a so low web of energy security and energy poverty that हमें तो कुछ भी मिल जाए, तो एक भूखा है उसको तो आप उसे जाके आप एक मैरिनेट का मेन्यू तो नहीं देंगे ना कि अलग इसमें देखो कि चिकन खाओगे या टिक्के खाओगे या मुर्गे खाओगे या बिरयानी खाओगे, उसको तो बेचारे को तो सूखी रोटी भी मिल जाए तो वो कहेगा यार बस मेरे लिए ये मेरा फूड मिक्स यही है मेरे लिए. बट इसी सो एक भूखे को हम क्या एक एनर्जी मिक्स दे रहे हैं कि जी we have to do a they are hiring a World Bank consultants to let us know whether we should have a hydel plant or a solar plant or LNG plant. Anything is why waste time and money and our effort on something which is really absurd for us. हमें तो अगर KP में लोड शेडिंग हो रही है और हम सोचते रहे कि यार ये लोड शेडिंग खत्म करने के लिए मैं हाइड्रो प्लांट लगाऊं या गैस टरबाइन लगाऊं, करते करते 4 साल गुजर गए. वो सोचते ये मतलब जो लोग इस फील्ड में नहीं है वो ये सोचते रहे कि जी हमने क्या चीज करनी है तो 5 years are gone, अभी 5th year गुजर रहा है. So when you come to these positions where you are yourself a decision maker, so you need to analyze things in a way that I would not waste too much time on thinking whatever comes, let me get it. To decide whether I should get power at 14 rupees or 12 rupees, and if I'm thinking, doing analysis, research, and 10 years passed, so is that good? और चलो यार 14 रुपए की तो क्या 15 की मुझे दे दो, फैक्ट्री तो चलाओ ना. So that's the decision maker. That's a very, very critical decision that when you make such decisions, you get criticized. Suppose if KPOGCL goes ahead for oil drilling and we drill a well which cost 5 billion rupees and it's a dry well. People say, dry well, यार हमें पता था ये dry well होगा यहाँ पर. यार पता था तुमको तो पहले बोले क्यों नहीं? ठीक है ना? And a person who saying यार बस अभी we are going for this lucky block and there is talk in our civil secretariat कि it will be a dry well. मैं कह अभी तो मैंने study भी नहीं की, अभी तो मैंने software भी run नहीं किया, अभी तो nobody knows except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala कि whether oil and gas. Yes, I will do analysis, and if there is no oil, I will not drill. So, but these kinds of negativities will come and confront you. So you have to not lose your heart and mind and brain on this thing. You have to find your ways out of it, and that's the leadership. That how you find your ways by keeping this quarter happy, by keeping the union happy, by keeping the government happy, by keeping your higher ups happy, but still you do your own target. You keep on moving on your target by smiling face here and a smiling face. But if you confront, the worst thing that comes when you start confronting, although people say, "Yaar, darpok buzdil," you say, "Yeah, मैं बहुत ही बुज़दिल डरपोक हूँ," but you know you have a strategy in your mind, you have a plan in your mind, where let that person exhaust his energies. You keep your energies. You keep your energies for the time when the right time then you hit. But if you start confronting left and right, and a number of people have this sort of you want to confront, but you have to confront also with a strategy. If I am not giving that information to RTI, I have a whole plan up to the Supreme Court. that what will happen at High Court, what will happen at Supreme Court, what will happen at the review. If I lose, if I go for review, what will happen? What will my CM think? What will my CS think? What will people think? This is hiding of information. What will Bani Gala think? All these things, I have, alhamdulillah, at least as a human being, what Allah does is a different thing. But what, as a human being with my small thinking, I have a roadmap to tackle each and every step. That's what you need to put in your minds, that as a strategic planner and a strategic plan, you have to have your plans. If you want to increase, like our friends who are going to PSO to see his MD and offering him a solution that increase your market share. It's easy said than done. Now, what are the solutions to increase the market share? One is to reduce the price. Tomorrow, if PSO starts reducing the price, everybody will go to PSO. But it's against the law. They cannot do it. They should improve their service. Service, you go there for 10 minutes, what kind of service do you need? Okay, you need to have your screen washed and things like that. But there are other ways also to increase the, so you have to have a, when you talk to MD PSO, you have to have a strategy. You want to talk to MD SNGPL or MD PDO, you also have to understand that what kind of strategy I am having for the next 10 years. Like this case studies you are doing it, is that what will happen in the next 3 years, and the fruits of that will be for another 10, 20 years. Like for Atak Refinery, the strategy we had from 1997 till year 1980 till 2000, 3 years, and those fruits are still being sought by Atak Refinery. They had a power plant, they bought National Refinery, they invested in Atak Petroleum. So they made these 3 major investments, and they are, at times, Atak Refinery itself, profit is less than the profit of the power plant and the National Refinery and the Atak Petroleum, because the investment of Atak Refinery went into these 3 major cash cows. So Atak Refinery is financially safe. So that strategy is helping Atak Refinery since 2000. 17 saal ho gaye, they have a very good balance sheet. So that's what you. There could be a dichotomy where if like PSO, they are into selling oil, but if you tell them to put a solar, that's anti. It's not that they should not do it. I mean, maybe they should do it. Maybe they should start moving slowly towards solarization. Like British Petroleum. British Petroleum was very, very big on petroleum. Internationally, they were one of the 7 largest companies, but they have moved to solar. They have moved to solar, and they are doing very well. Their solar systems are the world one of the best ones. Siemens' main job was to make generators for the thermal power plants, for the coal, nuclear, hydro, and all these things. But they have also moved towards solar. So if a person has to buy electricity, it has to buy a generator or a solar. Both are being sold by Siemens. Both are in competition with each other. One division against the other division. So, but the top objective of Siemens is to make money, to survive, to pay the salaries, and to have a value-added shareholding for their shareholders. Similarly, I think I agree with you. You can ask a question that why not get into solar, because they have gone into LNG. So they have gone into LNG. They have big money, big clout, big brains, very enlarged footprint in all of Pakistan and internationally. They know a number of international people. They are in Karachi. They have exposure to stock exchange. They are traded on stock exchange. They have all this homework done. So maybe you can, offer to you can give them a strategic plan that they can get into solar or hydro. They don't have a refinery. They should get into refinery. So these things, we'll put these things, and inshallah, tomorrow we should send this and ask him for a date the week after. So the energy mix, regardless of our poverty, still the energy mix in the world is changing. So we have to also, we have to take anything that comes, but we have to at least make certain kind of incentives and policies so that we get more and more solar into our system. Because the world is, we have one of the world's largest coal mines in Thar. We have very large hydro systems, but it takes 4, 5, 6, 7 years to get a hydropower plant, and it takes 6, 7 months to get solar up and running. So even if solar is a little expensive, still you get a quicker electricity. And I was in the Planning Commission, and there has been a number of statements by some politicians in the newspaper that we have surplus power. We don't have surplus power. We still are far away from having surplus power, because a lot of people have load shedding in the villages, the industries are closed, but certain areas, as the minister has said, there are something like 8,000 feeders where there will be no load shedding. It means for 8,000 feeders out of 70,000 feeders, there is abundance of power. But what about the rest of Pakistan? Maybe Islamabad has no load shedding, Lahore has no load shedding, so but rest of Pakistan has load shedding. So these are the things that will come and hit you. So you have to have in your minds some kind of a plan and a strategy to ensure that your plan yourself gets implemented. We have I'll share our ideas on the 12th five-year plan. I'll send you that email. I forgot to send you that email that we have sent to the Planning Commission, that this is what we want for Pakistan. Here in the national plan, we are not sitting for KP, but we are sitting there for think about whole of Pakistan, and you can give your ideas also, inshallah. Next. There's always new trends come, the new people, new generation coming in. This generation, your generation, is now the smartphones, artificial intelligence, efficiencies, smart working. I mean, even the people of this, they do exercise, they are slim, they eat well, they are well informed. You open up your WhatsApp, you're saying that don't eat this, don't eat Kentucky Fried Chicken. So you are much more informed than the previous generations. So the trends keep on changing with the passage of time. The societies keep on adapting. And as far as energy sector is concerned, the trends that are, I've listed these 12, 13 trends, but there are many more trends that they are seeing. The rigs used to be on muscles. You have to be 6 feet tall and 200 pounds to move the rigs equipment. But now robots are doing everything. The robots are doing a lot of drilling. The robots are doing a lot of offshore drilling under the ocean, which people used to do it by having these swimsuits with oxygen and going inside and outside, but all those things have been taken by robot. So these are the technological trends, but there's a big political unrest. There's a big political unrest in Middle East, in Saudi Arabia, and Palestine, which affects all of us in terms of power. The political unrest has done a tremendous disadvantage to us, that our dollar has jumped to 113, 115, and it's going to go to 120. So the dollar goes up, everything becomes expensive. Compared to our competition, which is India and Bangladesh, their dollar is about 40 rupees, 50 rupees for India, and about 60 rupees for Bangladesh. So when it comes to competition, when it comes to quality of life, I'm paying half of my salary for energy, whereas the Indians are paying maybe 1/4, and the Bangladeshis are paying 1/3 of. So I'm paying much more for the same electric heater, for the same cooking, much higher price of my salary. So now that is a trend that reduces your quality of life, that reduces your other things that you can do. You wanted to buy a motorcycle, but you cannot buy a motorcycle because you have to pay electrical and gas bills. So your motorcycle industry gets affected. The motorcycle people, the invested in Pakistan, the United, the Eagles, they cannot sell their motorcycles. So if they cannot sell their motorcycles, they cannot run their power plants. Their plant which consumes energy. So they buy less power. When they buy less power, the power plants get affected. So it becomes a vicious circle. So as planners, as strategic planners, you need to have that kind of full life cycle in front of you. And that was the purpose of the 12th five-year plan and 11th and 10th, but unfortunately, at times, because of political unrest, the government is not that serious on this thing. The political leaderships are not. They are more trying to calm down one MNA, a senator, MP, than to sit with the professionals to listen to our theories of the future and our theories of the energy cycle, that how you do one thing and it affects all the other things. So with that, our debt has raised to almost $85 billion because of low productivity of our textile industry, our leather industry, our sports industry, our food industry. So all these things have to come in your mind on a chessboard. Then what is happening here? What is happening here? So your mind as a planner, if you are planning for a factory, for a power plant, for a hydro dam, for a KPOGCL, so you need to. We are also thinking. There has been also thinking that what will happen to oil and gas in the future if the government, recently the government stopped buying furnace oil. That stopped all the refineries. Now if you are a CEO of a refinery, what do? At a very young age you have been given the responsibility to run the refinery, the refinery closes. So you have to have alternate plans. You have to have these alternate plans. Last time we were discussing about Atak refinery and Pakistan refinery. They closed down because they could not sell their furnace oil. If they cannot sell their furnace oil, their tanks got topped up, so they could not produce diesel and petrol. So if they cannot manufacture diesel and petrol, what happened? Pakistan started importing diesel and petrol, and that was a big drain on our foreign exchange. And when Atak refinery was not buying crude oil, the production of Karak Kohart went down, Peshawar went down. So when it went down, production went down, OGTCL mall lost money, and KP government lost the royalty. So it's a vicious circle. So the planners at the front. Tanks, you need tanks. You cannot build tanks in a week's time. And there's no point storing things. You need the cash flow. आपने तो पैसा दे दिया ना, जहाँ से oil खरीदा, crude oil खरीदा है, लेकिन कोई, it's not good business to keep things in the tanks. You have to sell it because you gave $50 per barrel to MOL or OGTCL, and you produce 30% of furnace oil. So okay, you sold $50 ka 70%, $35 worth of you sold, and $15 is in your inventory. If things are in your inventory, there's an inventory cost, there are losses, and there's a working capital. You have to borrow money from the banks.
So दूसरी बात यह है कि मतलब इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में ऑयल का जो प्राइस है वो तकरीबन 50% एकदम जो है ना सपोज कि पास में जो है चेंज हो गया था, कम हो गया था. तो उस टाइम जो है ना हम पाकिस्तान में ऐसा नहीं कर सकते थे कि ऑयल की जो प्रोडक्शन थी वो स्टॉप करते, या हम जो है ना ऑयल प्रोडक्शन मतलब वो अपने पास जो है ना स्टॉक करते और बाहर से जो है ना सस्ते मंगवाते, वही जो है ना पाकिस्तान में चलाते. तो तब तो हमारे जो है ना ये जो रिजर्वायर जो है ना वो भी डिप्लीट ना होते, और ऊपर से जो है ना मतलब हम अगर एक चीज़ जो है ना पहले 2 रुपए की बना देते और हम 4 की बेच देते, अब हम 2 रुपए की बना के 3 पे या 2 पे बेच देते, उसका तो हमें ज़्यादा फ़ायदा नहीं हो रहा. तो हम प्रोसेस को स्टॉप क्यों नहीं करते, और बाहर से जब हम सस्ते मिल रहे हैं हमें, तो हम वो क्यों यूज़ नहीं कर सकते.
गुड पॉइंट. कौन जवाब देगा?
सर अगर
ویل سے ہم آئل نہ نکالیں تو ٹیکنیکلی وہ ویل خراب ہو جاتا ہے.
سر اگر ہم نکال کے اس کو اسٹاک بھی تو کر سکتے ہیں, مطلب ٹینک بنانا تو مطلب اتنے لاجک نہیں ہے, اس طرح کوئی راکٹ سائنس بھی تو نہیں ہے وہ, اور نہ اس پہ کوئی اتنا خرچ آ سکتا ہے اسٹاک کرنے میں, تو یہ اتنا
نہیں. آپ کے مطلب بیسک کوشچن یہ ہے نا کہ جب ہمارے پاس تیل, ہم اپنا تیل محفوظ رکھیں اور امپورٹ کریں
امپورٹ کریں. سر ابھی ہمیں
جب سستا ہے تیل, اور ہم انتظار کریں جب بھی $100 پر بیرل ہوگا تب ہم نکالیں.
تب ہم نکالیں, یا جو ہم نے اسٹاک کیا وہ.
سر اس میں ایک بات یہ ہے کہ مطلب انفلیمیبل ہوتا ہے, اور مطلب اور بھی کب تک ہم اسٹور کریں گے؟
دیکھیں نا, اگر آپ کو $100 کا آپ نے محفوظ کر لیا, لیکن آپ کو $50 بھی تو فارن ایکسچینج چاہیے نا امپورٹ کرنے کے لیے, آپ کے پاس تو وہ بھی نہیں ہے. دیر آر سرٹن رچ کنٹریز جو اپنا سیو کر کے رکھتی ہیں, لائک امریکہ اپنا سیو کر کے رکھتی ہے, جب پرائسز کم ہو جاتی ہیں تو وہ اپنا سیو کر کے باہر سے منگاتی ہے, لیکن دے ہیو اے بگ کیش فلو سچویشن. بٹ ہمارے پاس تو مطلب ٹماٹر کے امپورٹ کے پیسے نہیں ہوتے, تو ہمارے لیے تو سب سے بیسٹ یہ کہ چلے $50 کا تیل ہو گیا, سستا ہو گیا تیل نکالنا, تو ہم نے خود ہی اپنا یہ سستا تیل نکال کے استعمال کرنا ہے, کیونکہ وی ڈونٹ ہیو منی ٹو امپورٹ ایون دی لو پرائس. Our foreign exchange is already negative. Our balance of payment, what they call balance of payment, is BOP, balance of payment, is already negative, because we are, jab ye prices dip hui thi, to we were minus $20 billion already. کہ جو ہم امپورٹ کر رہے تھے اور جو ایکسپورٹ کر رہے تھے ان کا ڈفرینس $20 بلین نیگیٹو تھا, اور اگر آپ اور امپورٹ کرتے تو وہ پھر آپ کا 20 سے 30 ہو جاتا. تو $100 بلین پھر $10 ملین تو ہم IMF سے لون لیتے, وہ لون لیتے تو پھر اس پہ انٹرسٹ دیتے. تو ایز فار پاکستان اکانومی, and there have been analysis, I'll also share some papers with you, that it is what India did. انڈیا نے کہا چاہے کچھ بھی ہو جائے میں نے انڈیجنس ہی کرنا ہے, ساری مینوفیکچرنگ چاہے ایک سڑا ہوئی گاڑی میں کیوں نہ بناؤں, میں نے انڈیجنس ہی کرنی ہے. تو what happened, we are not able to support our 20 crore population with food, but India is not only supporting 1.25 billion people on food and all the other things, but they are also exporting to us. They are also supporting 20 billion people here with various fruits and tomatoes and potatoes, and some rice is also coming from there. So that was their strategy. Maybe that strategy is not good for us. Our strategy at present, because we have a big unemployment, we have big HR base, we need to employ our people. Instead of easily importing petrol, we have to have so many refineries so that our economy becomes plus balance of payment. We should be importing less and exporting more.
سر لیکن یہاں پہ تو ہم جو ہے نا سسٹینیبلٹی والے پوائنٹ کو پرووائڈ کرتے ہیں, کیونکہ ہم اپنے جگہ جو ہے نا اتنی فاسٹلی ابھی ڈپلیٹ کر رہے ہیں, جبکہ ہمیں جو ہے انٹرنیشنل مارکیٹ سے اتنا سستے مل رہے تھے. تو ہم کیوں مطلب اب سسٹینیبلٹی بھی ہم نے سوچنا ہے, کیونکہ جو ہے اتنی فاسٹلی ہم اپنے ریزروائر کو ڈپلیٹ کیوں کریں, جبکہ انٹرنیشنل مارکیٹ سے جو ہے اتنا سستا ہمیں مل رہا ہے.
سستا ملا, لیکن وہ سستے کے لیے پیسہ نہیں ہے نا. اگر سستے کے لیے ہمارے پاس ڈالرز ہوتے تو ہم شاید ضرور کرتے, جیسا some countries do and some countries are still doing it. But the point is that if you do not have even that money to import less expensive petrol and diesel, and if you want to import even at present time when it's so low, and we are still importing, we are not 100% to hamara nahi hai, we are still importing furnace oil, we are still importing petrol and diesel, but we don't even have that foreign exchange, so we are borrowing from IMF and World Bank. But what happened to this furnace oil, it is not that the government decided to shift all these furnace oil on LNG. Instead of indigenous furnace oil, these were all shifted to imported LNG. So that created this problem for the refineries. We were importing anyway. I mean, there was choice to buy, say, made in Pakistan shirt at 10 rupees, at 2,000 rupees, or buy an imported shirt for 2,000 rupees. So the choice was that. So the government imported LNG because they said that environmentally it was good to import LNG as a gas, but then that shut down a number of things. So it created a vicious cycle of imports of diesel and petrol and jet fuel. That was happening. We have a tremendous demand of growth of energy because the youngsters are coming. At previous times, at our dada time and at my father time and then at my time, our demands were not that much. That the demand of you people and your kids' demands will be even much higher for energy. I've seen lieutenant colonels in Nashera using bicycle. Now you cannot imagine even a second lieutenant going on a bicycle. At that time, I've seen all the schools, they had these tongas, and there was now people are using their vehicles. The parents want to take their kids to the vehicles in their own cars. So there are so many cars moving in. So that has increased the demand. There are televisions in each rooms. We had only one television for the whole mahalla. So these things are coming. The smartphones are coming. The harmonics in these chargers are coming. So all these things are increasing the demand. So there is a big uncertainty on the demand. What is the demand for the future? So you need to meet that demand with the supply of the power plants and the refineries and all that. So one has to have a probabilistic model that one has to estimate that what is the demand of the future. The government thinks that the demand of the future is going to be just 10% increase. I'm of the view it's going to increase more than 30% every year. Because as a young engineer or a young MBA or a young doctor gets a job, his salaries are much higher now, as well as his demand of things are much higher. He does not want pension. Like we interview people, the youngsters don't want pension. The old people want pension. They don't want any medical. They say, give us cash. We'll take care of our cash and we'll worry about ourselves. But the previous generations, right from they want grade 17, they want a pension. Although he was still young, he got the job at the age of 26, 27 as grade 17. But at that time, I'm talking of 80s and 70s, they still were looking towards a pension, towards a health plan. Now the new generation doesn't look for these things. They say we'll see when the time comes. So these change of growth of demand has put a lot of pressure on the infrastructure, the power plants, and the refineries and the oil wells and all those things.
Sir, demand अगर oil का बढ़ रहा है, मतलब transportation में वो ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, तो government जो है वो public को oil free में तो नहीं दे रहा ना, उनसे पैसे लेता है, तो demand ज़्यादा होगी, तो ज़्यादा पैसे नहीं बनेंगे सर मतलब।
या तो अपना oil होता, indigenous, लेकिन we are importing. You see, the government is giving us in rupees, but the government needs dollars. Where the dollars will come? You have to export enough to get the dollars. या तो मेरी करेंसी में जितना छाप लूँ, अगर मैं बहुत ज़्यादा करेंसी छाप लूँ, मैं बोलूँगी जी आज पेट्रोल 20 रुपए का हो गया है, तो अगर अपना पेट्रोल होता, लेकिन since you are importing petrol, you are importing food items, you are importing cars, and you are importing everything. So if you see Pakistan as one pocket. Now that pocket has no dollars, rupees, and that I have so much of rupees, and I want to go buy something in Dubai. Nobody will sell me with that rupees, right? But I need dollars or dirham for Dubai if I want to go to Dubai or Singapore. So that is the problem, that the government wants, even the demand is here. We say, okay, here take this rupee. Okay, you want to sell petrol, not at 7, I'm willing to give you 80 rupees. But government doesn't have that funds to bring the petrol from Middle East or other things. The power plants, we cannot build the दुकान लेने जाते हैं ना यार बस मेहरबानी तो आप जब जाओगे तो नहीं वापस जो 4000 की चीज एकदम से 2000 की हो जाती है, same thing. So this is all you negotiate, but for that you have to have your homework, because you have done your homework very well. In other shop the same shirt is for 3000 rupees, but if you don't have your homework done in your normal life also, then you are not able to negotiate properly. And that's what I've seen, that a number of times I've gone with delegates abroad, and our leaders who were supposed to sign, they have not read the agreements. They are not well prepared for our presentation at not the UN political, but the UN economic side, the UN scientific side, the engineering side. We were not well prepared to negotiate a good deal with UN donor agencies, or with that's why it's very important to do the homework and have a strategic plan. I've seen other countries, they have come well prepared, they have come with a lot of homework, with the data, information, and negotiations points and counter negotiation points. It looked like I was in Bangkok, so I think some countries have come with counter arguments. The UN people were on one side, they were arguing, and they were countering on the other side. And when our turn came, our people didn't have any arguments or any plan to get the funding from UN SCAP. So I mean, inshallah, one day you'll grow at the leaderships of the country, whether it's political or diplomatic or administrative or provincial leaderships. So you should have that counter strategic plans, that if they give you one argument, you give another argument. They give you one, then you come up with another argument. So then you exhaust them. You exhaust them with arguments. They say, "Yeah, bas aapki baat sahi hai, lao sign karo." Like with the world, with ADB, I know people refuse ke jaye, hum mante hi nahi hai. Because the bank's business to give you money. If you tell them, "Yeah, don't come to me," they will still come to you because they make money. If they don't give money, they cannot earn their salaries. But it was a good strategy of PDO that PDO first initially said, "Okay, bas, fire, we're going somewhere else." Then ADP came a number of times. They came here to Peshawar. Otherwise, they are bade log hain wo, thodi Peshawar hai. They came here, and then the PDO was able to put its own terms and conditions on ADP. So that was, I think, good strategy. So you have to know the market. You know the market because there are other people also coming to you. Humse paisa le le, humse paisa le le. So then you can tell other people till you get the best rate and the best terms and conditions. There's a big push towards green, which means there's a big push towards solar, which is against oil and gas. So oil and gas all over the world is trying to rethink of its own strategy, what will happen. Although it doesn't look like, because there's so big demand, there's not enough solar manufacturing, and the solar price is still high, that oil and gas will continue. We cannot. It's easy to say, last time I gave some homework to my electrical engineers here. What happened to that? मैंने कहा था सोलर का पता है कि कार्स कैसे आ सकते हैं, वो कुछ भूल गए थे. अच्छा, वो किस सेंचुरी तक मिल जाएगा? 3027 जी एक्सरसाइज थी कि एक कार की बैटरी विच इज 200 kW, उसको चार्ज करने के लिए कितना टाइम लगता है और कितने एम्पीयर से चार्ज होगा. मतलब
वो डेटा है, आज मैं आपको ईमेल कर दूंगा.
मुझे ईमेल कर दें. और ये कि अगर मेरी एक स्ट्रीट पे 30 घर हैं और सभी गाड़ियां प्लग कर देते हैं तो ट्रांसफार्मर का क्या हाल होगा? ये 2-3 क्वेश्चंस थे. ठीक है ना? तो अभी there's a big push towards green, but there are impediments. Even in America, like one of the richest countries, which is more than $16 trillion economy, they cannot do it. तो let alone what about हमारे वाडा का पेस्को की हालत आप देख लें. इस हालत में तारे जो हैं तो वो तो पटाखे उड़ेंगे उसके तो but and you drive 180 miles or about 300 kilometers, then what do? You go from here to अमरगढ़ में तो कोई प्लग नहीं देगा ना मुझे कि जी उसके घर में मैं लगाऊं उसको घर में आग लग जाएगी उसकी तो I mean that's the one has to, and one day will come, maybe it will take 50-60 years, but not in a very near future. Renewables की बात हो गई. The China change is coming towards Pakistan. There has been, schools have adopted Chinese. There are a number of academies open for people to learn Chinese. A number of scholarships are being given by the Chinese government to go to China for engineers and for scientists and MBAs to go and learn Chinese. So that phenomena has started coming in the Eastern Corridor, the Central Corridor, the Western Corridor, the CPEC, the Gwadar, the power plants, all these things will come. And by the time you have gray hair and you are in a position of power, you will be negotiating a number of things with the Chinese. Now also, I think every week I say 2-3 delegation of Chinese. Some coming for the refineries, some for the power plants, some for the urea plant, and some for this business and that business. So that phenomena has, and we should take advantage of that. We should take advantage of that. It doesn't, I'm myself, I believe that if a Chinese, he relocate his business or a factory from Beijing and brings to Peshawar, I welcome him. Because if I cannot do it, if I cannot put a small factory, if he's coming, at least that will hire my 70, 80 people. That will consume, that will also, yes, he will take his profit away, but that will create some income tax, some local business, and that will start rolling the technical brains of our people. Unemployment will decrease. So there are advantages. The best thing is that we do ourselves. But since we are not doing it, since our entrepreneurs are not there, since we are not inclined, we are inclined towards a very easy job at PIDO, job mil gayi, grade 17 mein aa gaye, baith gaye, 10 saal aaya, phir aake chale gaye. That's not the way. That's why, KPOGCL, I have not made anybody permanent. There's nobody permanent. Everything is contract. I'm also on contract. Everybody's in contract. Just 1 minute notice. I was asked by my higher ups, where is the show cause notice? Where is the investigation? I said, no, nothing. I just fire. What is this? Is this justice? Yes, it is justice. Don't look at me with your glasses. This is not government. I'm here everybody is here on not a 1 second notice. That's it, gone. So that's how things have to work and things have to improve if you have to bring efficiencies. If I get involved into show cause, or आपने क्या क्या होता है? Show cause होता है, उसके बाद एक inquiry committee बैठती है, फिर जाते हैं. This it's not going to function like this. So the things are changing, and then the Chinese factor is coming in. So you should also read that how things are affecting Pakistan and how things will be in future affecting Pakistan. United States, as should be bigger, shale revolution. What United States did is that it was a tremendously importing country of oil and gas, but it went towards a technology, like Japan went towards technology. Japan had nothing, no raw material, nothing, but it value addition. It brought so much of technology that it is one of the richest economies of the world. The world looks at Japan, that this is made in Japan, they will buy it. Made in Korea, made in China, no. Why Japan has created a brand name? Why? Because it revolutionized its industrialization, its technologies, innovations, its quality. And United States, what it did with the shale oil and shale gas, it started producing so much of shale oil and shale gas. We have tremendous amount of shale gas and shale oil in Pakistan. Almost like our reserves of oil, of gas is about 56 trillion cubic feet at present, but our shale is about 800. So you can imagine 50 kahan or 800 kahan. But we are not spending a single penny on shale because we are now getting into this unnecessary argument कि यार renewable solar लगाएं या shale निकालें, solar निकालें या shale लगाएं या wind लगाएं या shale लगाएं. I mean, people read through newspapers and Googles, and the decision makers have come into this idea whether it's shale or solar. So that we need both. It's not that we have a choice of one or the other. In such a low consumption of oil and gas and energy, in fact, that we need both. But I think we have, even our government has delayed it by almost two years now, because we have shale in Kohart Basin, the study that we did. So we need to exploit that. So, but now we are going to Karachi and getting some private investors to come and help us out. Political interest, we discussed as an issue. Consolidation, a lot of consolidation is being done in the Western, where a number of subsidiaries are being consolidated. ADNOC had a refinery and oil and gas exploration and a petrochemical plant and oil marketing. So what they have done, they have consolidated all of them. And everybody in HR and administration and finance were fired from other, except one. So one HR for so many, Kuwait has done the same thing. So same HR, same finance, same procurement, same administration is working for everybody. So they have put ERP systems, and now they are doing all this which was done by 5 different companies. The same function is done by one company. All the software, hardware support is done again by the headquarter. So they have reduced their costs, and perhaps they have compromised on the efficiency also. It's good for the CEO. If a CEO wants a person, he can just hire. Now he have to send a requisition to ad hoc headquarter. Ad hoc headquarter HR sees कि वो बंदा मैं लूँ, ये बंदा लूँ, तो वो उनके पास भी it has its own problems. So the problems are there, but the trend at present is to reduce the cash outflow, because previously 5 manager HRs were there, in ad hoc there's only 1. So they have reduced the cost, but there is an aspect of inefficiency also. Integrated oil and gas is people who were doing, PSO was doing oil, it has also started importing of LNG. Like you say, if they put solar also, there will be another twist to PSO's function of integration, how they integrate their overall business. High tech, this is H, not there's no E, HAVEN. E निकाल दीजिएगा इसमें से. Haven, high technology, artificial intelligence, that is the name of the game. You buy iPhone 7, iPhone 10 has come. You see, you buy iPhone 10, iPhone 15 will come. So the technology is always bringing the efficiency. The robots are bringing efficiency, the production of medicines, everything. So we also have to move towards high efficiency to survive. And as managers, you have to have a factor of efficiency on back of your mind in your all calculations, that how I can bring efficiency so I'm competitive. You have to be competitive to survive and to sustain. As we discussed, that people say the oil has peaked out and the time is over, but I think we can debate in the class here whether the oil and gas is history now, or whether still Pakistan has to cover a lot. Yes, Pakistan, if we go on oil and gas tomorrow, if the demand, worldwide demand goes down, the European, American demand goes down, there will be more oil in the market, it will be much cheaper. So we can buy. So if the solar costs 2 rupees, maybe the oil will cost 1.5 rupees. There will be so much of oil available that, like furnace oil, there's so much of furnace oil available in the international market that the prices are low for furnace oil in the international market. So we need to think that what will happen, because we need oil and gas, as all of you know. Transportation cannot switch to electrical motors very quickly, so we'll be needing diesel and petrol. So what kind of strategy we should have, financially, legal, as well as technological, so that we can import. We need to have so much of storage. If you build so much of storage, that costs money, and tomorrow only to find that the storages have nothing in it. So that's also a cost you have to pay in terms of working capital and the debt. The gas market, the worldwide, is changing very rapidly because of high pollution and this fog that we have seen in China, India, Pakistan and other parts of the world. People are moving away from oil at least and moving towards gas, as we did 2 months ago, that we moved away from oil and moved towards gas. So that trend is also needs to be studied, that you have to have oil and gas, both come together. When you are drilling, you don't know whether it's oil or gas, but you know, either oil will come out, what do you do with that? You cannot shut it off, you have to use it. Similarly, if gas comes out, you have to have a better utilization of gas. Next. This just to give you the world energy, you know, situations, that what is having in the world, you know, how much China is using, India is using. As we discussed, India has had a tremendous growth of economy due to the last 15 years, and at present it is number 3, but it is expected that by 2040 it will be number 2 economy of the world. And the supply, where the supplies are coming from, So I mean, this you can Google it, and you know, United States has this statistics. OPEC, BP, all of them have these statistics. Next. This gives you the trend of how each kind of energy over a period of since 1965 and the trend toward till 2035, how the consumption has grown over a period of time. If you see, the gas was very little here, and gas has been taken a major role up here. Coal has also taken a major role. Nuclear, because of the few accidents of 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl, and as well as Fukushima in Japan, the nuclear industry has suffered a lot because of that. Although we are building 5 nuclear power plants, I think 1 in Karachi and 4 in Chashma here, but the growth has not been that tremendous as we thought. Even the hydro has not grown tremendously because of its potential. You can bring as many solar plants, as many oil and gas power plants, but hydro is, you know, naturally available. Hydro is only naturally available. It's not available there. And the renewables, you have seen that previously there was nothing till 2025, and it's going to take a major chunk. Still, these projections show that the world is still using oil and gas up to this much billion tons of oil equivalent. So almost 9 billion is oil and gas, and 9 billion is all the other things. The coal, nuclear, hydro, and solar, and the renewables. Renewables is still not going to be. How much is there? Almost 1 billion tons of oil equivalent. Still almost 1/4 that of oil. So these are the projections till 2035, and that's the time when perhaps the world will be changing, and you will be the change agent. You will be there. You will be in a very high positions at that time, and you will see that perhaps a change that will come into the world. The primary energy, again, this is the consumption, and this is the coal. Why is this that the coal is going down? Environmental factor, yes. Similarly, oil consumption is also going down. The renewable is on the increase. This is its own percentage. These are given in percentages. However, when you see the overall impact of renewables is still low, but it is increasing. But if you can project this till 2065, maybe this will grow up to almost 3 times by 2065.
Sir, but oil is decreasing more. So oil अभी decrease हो रहा है 2035 तक, तो उसका ग्राफ है वो नीचे आ रहा है.
अल्टरनेट आ जाएंगे ना, रिन्यूएबल आ जाएगा, गैस आ जाएगा.
Renewable आ रही है ना.
सर तो रिन्यूएबल इतनी आ जाएगी कि वो उसको ऑक्यूपाई कर लेगी.
नहीं, देखो ये percentage.
These are in percentages, and this is in terms of oil equivalent. This is the percent change in renewables. So the percent change, the renewable is changing very fast. You see, from here to here, you can see the change. This is in decimals, and this is so much. So much change has taken place. More than 10% has come in. However, oil has decreased almost 50%. And why don't you just Google and see what other agencies, and this is from the World Energy Outlook publication, and you can see from other publications by United States Energy Information Agency and International Information Center, and OPEC, what are they saying? And we can compare it next time. Next.
Sir, when we are thinking of energy mix, that is whatever result we have to go for it. But by considering sustainable environment, so there should be some sort of restrictions and laws in Pakistan on us that we should have that much sector of solar and that much of wind. We have that percentage of hydro. So,
but you see, if suppose I restrict myself that I can have only 500 megawatts of solar, just giving an example, but I need 5,000. I need 5,000.
in this case, it's okay for solar.
Suppose oil.
Yes.
Suppose oil power plants. Suppose I say that I need 2000 megawatts of oil power plants. But somebody said, no. Instead of 2000, you put gas. But I don't have gas. I have oil. I cannot pump back my oil into the ground. I'm producing oil and gas together. If I don't produce that thing, I will not get gas also. So I'm by default, I'm producing oil and I have to use oil somewhere else, either in transportation or in oil in power plants. But I cannot store oil because it requires a lot of space. You cannot store it on the grounds and you cannot pump it back. So by default, I have to have refineries and I have to have power plants by default because I went for gas, but oil came out.
So, but internationally, there should be some sort of restriction in each and every country, considering their environmental issues, just like we have US EPA, PAK.
There are restrictions. Like if I want to borrow money from USAID or ADB or World Bank for oil, they would not give me any money. I have to go to commercial. So that's the kind of restriction. But environment, I'm producing no. You see, my country is producing zero environmental effects on the world. Those countries which are big, China, India, Australia, United States, Canada, Germany, and England, which are producing 2,500 times more environmental pollution than us. So why should I worry? I mean, I'm where America was in 1920. At that time, they didn't have any laws of environment, so why should I have it? They polluted, but they industrialized. So let me industrialize. Let me come to that league of $10 trillion economy, then I will then put my meters for environment. But at present time, I don't want to restrict my economy, my GDP growth with even thought in a paragraph on environment. I've been at various meetings in the P&D here. They've come with these massive laws of environment. I said, what is this? There's nothing here on ground to monitor. What to monitor? We have 150 megawatts. Shameful. So मैंने क्या करना है environment को लेकर? पहले मैं उस threshold पे तो पहुंचूं कि KP में 4-5 हजार मेगावाट industrial वो बन जाए.
So then there should at that time then we will have a way to control.
Yes. Like all these countries control it. They polluted, and then they put their barriers, and they have enough money to invest. Because you see, a power plant, a coal power plant, if you want to have very low pollution and match the US standard or the German standard, my cost will go up. My cost goes up, my price goes up, my tariff goes up, then my exports goes down. Because I cannot produce on a comparative basis because I'm not as efficient as Germany and United States and Canada. So I'm spending more money on my environment, and what happens is that my factories are not running. So I'm of the view don't put any restriction by the provincial and the federal government on me on environment. Let me pollute from 1920 to year 2000, in 80 years, what America and the Western world in their so-called industrial revolution of America, of industrial revolution of England and of France, of Germany, what they polluted, let me come to their level and then I will do it. I would not do it now. Because why should I restrict myself? Why should I reduce my export? Why I should increase my unemployment? Because with all these things will come these. But I have not polluted. I have not shared. I have not put my share of pollution in this pollution of the world. These are again, where do the liquids go, like diesel and furnace oil and all these, how much in car and transportation, and this gives you a global look where the fuel is being used, what kind of fuel is being used, and what kind of demand there is in the future. So we also have in the energy yearbook, did Ms. Rabia share energy yearbook with you? You can see that also, what are the trends of gas, liquid and solar and hydro in Pakistan. So you can have a better idea of that.
Sir, non-combustive, क्या मतलब है sir?
ये जो है ना ये बिल्डिंग्स में और ये मेरे ख्याल में नॉन कंबस्टिबल जो है, I'll check it कि इसका मतलब क्या है, ठीक है, then I'll come back, नोट कर ले फिर मैं बताऊंगा। या मे बी ये था ना कि ये पावर इंडस्ट्री में कितना गया, इंडस्ट्रीज में, ट्रांसपोर्ट में कितना गया, बिल्डिंग्स में कितना गया, और वहां पर जहां पर नॉन कंबस्टिबल जिस तरह के सॉल्वेंट होता है ना, पेंट में इस्तेमाल कर रहे होते हैं, परहैप्स ये वो है कि वहाँ कितना इस्तेमाल होता है, क्यों
बहुत ज्यादा नहीं इस्तेमाल
हाँ इतना तो नहीं इस्तेमाल होता है।
सर ये जो लेफ्ट वाली फिगर आप देखें तो नॉन कंबस्टेड बहुत ज्यादा है सर।
जी ये वाला है ना,
ट्रक्स की तकरीबन है।
नहीं ट्रक्स, हाँ जी ये हो सकता है कि ये तो पाकिस्तान में तो इंटरनेशनल है ना, ये कि पेंट इंडस्ट्री इस्तेमाल कर रही है, थिनर है, ग्रीस है और इंजन ऑयल है, इंजन ऑयल भी काफ़ी सारा इस्तेमाल होता है। तो ये इसकी डेफिनेशन में उस किताब में देख लूँगा कि पूरी कौन से इसके एस्पेक्ट्स हैं। नेक्स्ट, गैस सप्लाई ग्रोथ के शेल अमेरिका में कैसे कितनी शेल इंक्रीज हुई, और नाउ यू सी because of that strategy what America did, they took the price of oil to 120. Shale की cost of production was 60, so they sustained the shale profitability for 5, 6, 7 years. उसके बाद shale की price गिर के 30 पर आ गई, तो उन्होंने price को नीचे ले आए, and with that they have now started exporting shale gas and shale oil. So it's a long-term strategy by the Department of Energy, what to change the scenario of the world to increase the price so that they can keep on producing shale gas and shale oil for 5, 6, 7 years, और जब वो mature हो गई, नहीं ये तो नॉन कंबस्टिव थे कि वो जो नहीं बर्न करते, उसकी क्या है,
नॉन कंबस्टिव की डेफिनेशन है सर,
क्या है,
the act or process of burning.
ये तो कंबस्टिव की होगी, नॉन कंबस्टिव। देखिए ये इस्तेमाल हो रहा है कि ये ट्रांसपोर्टर में चला गया, बिल्डिंग में, पावर में, ये नॉन कंबस्टिव में वो है कि जो आप जलाने के लिए इस्तेमाल नहीं करते।
इसका नाम उसकी डेफिनेशन नहीं दी हुई है, और ये नाउन है इसका।
They have so much of shale oil and shale gas that their price, our purchase price from MOL and OGDC is about $6 per million BTU, but in America the shale is about $2 per million BTU. So they have become more competitive. So they have started exporting LNG and oil from America. So from a totally imported, they have gone to an export market because they have gone through all the shale oil and shale gas available in America and producing that. So that's this kind of strategy, because they are powerful, they can have that strategy. And we need to read their strategy and we need to follow that. Had we also followed the shale rather than having this various discussions at various levels of the government, shale is good, shale is bad, shale is this, shale will that, America went ahead with that. And today we are left behind because the prices have gone down and we cannot compete in the shale oil and gas. So that's the Planning Commission of Pakistan, they are mandated to look at these strategies, to look at these things, but they have not been able to really keep track of what is happening in the world, because the people have kept on changing. A person in energy wing, they are supposed to join energy wing as research officers and retire as grade 2021, 22. But what has happened that the person came here, got himself transferred as into some administrative, and somebody else has come there on a deputation, because the salaries in energy wing were good, Planning Commission, so people kept on coming and going for 3 years on a deputation from Atomic Energy Commission, from SNGPL, from this, they came on deputation, earned money and went away. So that didn't create an institution. The thought that the think tank of Pakistan, which is the Planning Commission, and the think tank of KP, which is the PND, are not think tanks. They are just people come, stay there and move on, which has been a very detrimental factor for our economy and for our planning and for everything. So one of the strategic plans of that, we can discuss it also. I think I'll put this in the 12th five-year plan, that they need to strengthen the planning commission so that the think tanks, they come, join and retire in the same position, so that the continuity is there, the research is there, and the will to change is there.
ये 12th five-year plan में सर ये कोल का कुछ जिक्र है, मतलब होगा या कि कोल पर हम तवज्जो दे दें या कोल का कोई
पता नहीं, मैंने तो डाला है इसमें,
आपने अपनी तरफ से डाला
जी, तो अभी तो सब आइडियाज आ रहे हैं, so these ideas will go to ECNIC on 18th. So I'm going to ask my finance minister to put our point of view also there in ECNIC.
सब कोल की वजह से बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब चेंजेस आ सकती हैं, जो थर्ड कोल है
जी थर्ड कोल, I mean थर्ड कोल आ जाए तो मतलब पाकिस्तान will the balance of payment will change.
सर ये तो नहीं है कि उसके पीछे लॉबीज हैं जो
Definitely lobbies उसके पीछे, लेकिन you have to counter it. उसके पीछे तो लॉबीज हैं कि थर्ड कोल वो जी गंदा है, वो खराब है, उसे पोल्यूशन हो जाएगी, सारी दुनिया के लिए नहीं हो रही, हमारे लिए पोल्यूशन हो जाएगी.
क्योंकि हमने अभी सर जो वर्ल्ड की कोल वो देख ली है ना, तो बहुत ज्यादा थी
जी
क्योंकि मतलब ऑयल एंड गैस के बराबर थी तकरीबन, मतलब सारी दुनिया इस्तेमाल कर रही है
जी बिल्कुल,
मतलब लेकिन हम मतलब एनवायरमेंटल के चक्कर में
हमारे लोग खुद ही इसके अगेंस्ट हैं. हमारे बहुत से लॉबिस्ट हैं, बहुत से जो एकेडेमिया भी है, वो कहती है ये बड़ा पोल्यूशन है, ये है वो है. What about Germany, India, Australia, China, Canada, America और बहुत से दुनिया के मुल्क हैं जो कि कोल 60-70% of their energy power plants are based on coal because it's very cheap energy.
So this is because we have a huge reservoir of.
They don't want us to produce that because उनको पता है कि हमारी इकोनॉमी
सर तो मतलब हम क्यों उसके उनकी बातों में आ रहे हैं और अपना काम खुद नहीं कर रहे.
बस बहुत से बिकामान होते हैं, बहुत से गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स एंड प्लानर्स एंड प्रेस वाले they speak the language of the import lobbies. उससे ये होता है कि फिर वो जाहिर बात पॉलिसी उस तरह बनती है, पॉलिसी उस तरह बनती है तो फिर कंट्री की इकोनॉमी भी फिर उससे चलती है.
सर लेकिन अगर पाकिस्तान जितना भी कोशिश करे तो इंडिया और चाइना की जो मतलब ग्लोबल वार्मिंग है वो तो वैसे भी एनवायरनमेंट को अफेक्ट कर रहा है.
हम तो उसको मैच नहीं कर सकते. हम तो चाहे जितना भी पोल्यूशन कर दें फिर भी हमारी पोल्यूशन कुछ भी नहीं होगी.
यही ना, लेकिन अगर हम जितना भी बचने की कोशिश करें तो वो तो वैसे भी इफेक्ट कर रहा है, तो हम अपना प्रोडक्टिविटी क्यों उस पर इफेक्ट
बिल्कुल हम अपनी इकोनॉमी हमने रोक ली है इस वजह से, और हम वो थीसिस में पड़ गए, वो एनालिसिस में वो फिजिबिलिटी हो रही है कि थर्ड कोल वो कैसे इस्तेमाल करेंगे और पोल्यूशन फ्री कैसे होगा, और अखबारों में आ रहा है कि जी लिग्नाइट और ये है वो है, which is unnecessary, which is obviously import lobbies are active on that.
सर जब कोल सस्ता पड़ता है सर तो हम इसको इंपोर्ट क्यों नहीं करते प्लांट्स वगैरह में यूज़ करने के लिए इंस्टेड ऑफ ऑयल एंड गैस, और सर ये जो हमारे पास सरप्लस है फर्नेस ऑयल का, हम ये प्लांट्स में क्यों नहीं इसको इस दूर कर लेते कि यार ऑयल एंड गैस के बजाय हम फर्नेस ऑयल या कोल इस्तेमाल कर लेते.
देखिए ना, फर्नेस ऑयल जितना आपके पास सरप्लस है तो एक प्लांट में या तो गैस जलेगी या फर्नेस ऑयल जलेगा, दोनों नहीं जला सकते ना आप, क्योंकि आपको उतने BTUs चाहिए टू प्रोड्यूस अ किलोवाट आवर. तो अब अगर गवर्नमेंट एक फैसला कर दे कि नहीं इसमें आप इंपोर्टेड गैस लगाएंगे, तो जाहिर बात है गवर्नमेंट सरकार होती है, पावर होती है, उसके पेन में एक ताकत होती है, तो आपको फिर बैक ऑफ करना का फर्नेस ऑयल. जब गवर्नमेंट कह देती है, गवर्नमेंट ने कहा कि नहीं फर्नेस ऑयल यूज़ करो, तो अभी इंपोर्ट बैक हो गई. तो उस जगह पे इस्तेमाल करने के लिए तो आपको तो दोनों में से एक चीज़ सेलेक्ट करनी होती है, एंड गवर्नमेंट इन इट्स इन्फिनाइट विजडम वो ऑर्डर करती है कि जी आप ये इस्तेमाल करें, ये इस्तेमाल करें, जिसके बहुत सारे इफेक्ट आ जाते हैं, उसके नेगेटिव इफेक्ट होते हैं, लेकिन द गवर्नमेंट हैज़ डिसाइडेड. एंड अभी जिस तरह नंबर ऑफ सेक्रेटरीज जिन्होंने बड़ा अच्छा काम किया, तो एक डिसीजन पे वो नहीं एग्री करते, उनका ट्रांसफर हो जाता है. मतलब एक सेक्रेटरी ने कहा कि जी ये प्लांट यहाँ पर जंग में नहीं लगना चाहिए, दूसरे दिन उसके ट्रांसफर ऑर्डर्स आ गए. तो these are the institutions नहीं बन पाते, institutions नहीं पाते. हमें लीडरशिप अगर अपने मकसद से हट कर काम करे जी, तो वो एक डिफरेंट उसका एस्पेक्ट हो जाता है.
اور اس کا پرسنلی بھی اگر آپ پرسنل اپنے لیول پہ بھی اگر پرسنل سوچیں کہ جی میں میرے لیے کیا ہے اس میں, دین دا نیشنز ڈو ناٹ پروگریس. اور یہ آل دیز کنٹریز, the Churchills, the Mahathis, اور ایران اینڈ ٹرکی اینڈ چائنا, دے آل سیلفلیسنس, جب آپ سیلفلیسنس سے پروگریس کرتے ہیں تو وائی پاکستان جب بنا تو ہمارے پاس ٹوٹل شاید 35 میگا واٹ تھے, 60 میگا واٹس تھے, اینڈ وی ہیڈ نو انڈسٹری. لیکن فرام 1947 ٹل 1956 وی پروگریس, بڑی بڑی انڈسٹریز لگ گئی, پورا نوشہرہ لگ گیا آپ کا اس زمانے میں, پورا راوالی لگ گیا, کھلنا لگ گیا, چٹگاؤں میں لگ گیا, کراچی میں لگ گئے. اتنے شارٹ اسپین آف ٹائم میں انڈسٹریلائزیشن اتنی ہو گئی. لیکن جیسے ہی آپ نے پرسنل اسپیکٹ آنا شروع ہو گئے تو 1956 کے بعد جب جمہوریت چھوڑ کر ہم لوگ پرسنل اس پہ چلے گئے تو پھر آپ حالت دیکھ لیں کیا ہوگا. This is about the official liquid tha, this is about the gas, how the gas has grown.
So یہ conventional decline اور conventional growth اس کا کیا مطلب ہے؟ نیچے شیل کے ساتھ
یہ شیل کے ساتھ conventional growth تو یہ جو conventional oil کی ہوئی ہے, اور یہ پرہیپس یہ ہوگی یہ جو conventional wells جو ڈکلائن ہوئے ہیں, جو conventional wells ہیں گیس کے جو wells ہیں جو کم ہوئے, پرہیپس یہ نیگیٹو ہوگا, لیکن یہ پرنٹ میں ایسے آ گیا. یہ میں یہ بھی دیکھ لوں گا میں اس کی پیچھے پوری تھیوری کیا ہے اس کی. نیکسٹ امپورٹڈ گیس سپلائیز کے ورلڈ وائز کے گیس سپلائی ٹو چائنا کے کہاں سے چائنا کو, چائنا واز دیکھیں
چائنا کہاں کھڑا تھا اور ابھی کہاں کھڑا ہے وہ, اور پھر کہاں کھڑا ہوگا وہ. لک ایٹ اٹس گروتھ پیٹرن. اور یورپ کی آلموسٹ اسٹیگننٹ ہے, بالکل تقریباً برابر. چائنا ہیز یہ بھی 60 ہے, یہ بھی 60 BCF پر ڈے ہے, بلین کیوبک فٹ پر ڈے, اور پاکستان از 4 بلین کیوبک فٹ پر ڈے. تو اگر چائنا از گوئنگ ٹو گرو ٹو آلموسٹ 60 BCFD اور اسی تقریباً یورپ کے برابر پہنچ جائے گا, تو ہول چائنیز اکانومی ول equalize the European economy by 2035. I mean, because of the consumption, industrialization, and quality of life.
تو یہ 1995 میں بہت کم نہیں ہے سر.
چائنا کیا تھا, کچھ بھی نہیں تھا 1995 میں.
مطلب انڈسٹریلائزیشن اور یہ کچھ نہیں تھا.
کچھ بات تھی, ناٹ ایک پاور تھی ضرور, لیکن ایک پولیٹیکل پاور تھی, ایک فوج تھی. انڈسٹری تو کچھ نہیں تھی. That's what اس وقت یہ ٹیک آف شروع کیا تھا انہوں نے. لیکن یہ نہیں کہ ان کے پاس they were major importer of oils also, oil وہ امپورٹ کر رہے تھے. ان کے پاس کول تھا, کول کی بہت بڑے پاور پلانٹس تھے ان کے پاس. لیکن اوور آل اکانومی چائنا was there. یہ نہیں کہ چائنا بالکل ہی ختم تھا, لیکن اتنی بڑی اکانومی نہیں تھی جتنی آج بنی ہے. اگر آپ دیکھیں گے گوگل سے بھی کر کے اکانومی GDP, what was the GDP, میرے شاید سلائڈ ہوگی بھی, what was the GDP of China and India, US, Germany and Japan and England, جو مین کنٹریز ہیں, in 1995, and what is the economy today and what is the economy in 2035. یہ آپ گوگل کریں گے تو نکل آئے گا آپ کو. لاسٹ ٹائم میں نے بتایا تھا شاید اس کا, where we showed India going from position number 3 to 2 اس طرح کچھ تھا, پاکستان going from 40 to 26 تھا, کچھ اس طرح کا.
یہ سر وہ فور پاسٹ میں تھا کہ مطلب 2040 تک ہوگا.
پریزنٹ بھی تھا, اس سائڈ میں پریزنٹ تھا اور اس سائڈ پہ فیوچر تھا.
پریزنٹ 42 ہے
پاکستان پریزنٹ کتنا تھا,
GDP وائی
42 and 26 ہو جائے گا.
Yes.
اور انڈیا واز تھرڈ یا ففتھ تھا, اس سے سیکنڈ ہو جائے گا, اور چائنا فرام نمبر 2 سے نمبر 1 ہو جائے گا.
So now China is going with steep.
جی چائنا از گوئنگ ٹو.
سر تو امریکہ پھر فورتھ یا تھرڈ,
امریکہ پھر شاید تھرڈ پہ آ جائے گا. نیکسٹ
LNG is a fuel of the future where it is tradable. ٹریڈنگ ہوتی ہے بٹ اٹس ویری ویری کیپٹل ایکسٹینسو, بڑا پیسہ لگتا ہے, بڑی کیپٹل انویسٹمنٹ ہوتی ہے LNG لگانے میں. تو دس آلسو شوز کہ ہاؤ دی LNG سپلائی اینڈ ڈیمانڈ از گوئنگ ٹو رائز. where the LNG is going to come from and where it will be going. Some will be the country demand and some will be international demands. Next. Average annual capacity growth in gigawatt hours. Gigawatt मतलब ये 48,000 megawatts हो जाएंगे ना, 48,000 megawatts हो जाएंगे ये. Renewables again is going to take the lead in these years, and इससे यहाँ तक इन्होंने लीड ली, उसके बाद फिर ये अब लीड इनकी शुरू हो जाएगी renewables की. ये capacity additions हैं, not the present ones. Next. OPEC, as you know that OPEC was formed after the Yom Kippur War. Israel and the Arabs fought a war called Yom Kippur War, and then came the OPEC. First was a very small, then it grew to almost 14-15 exporters. They had a clout once, but their power and their clout has sort of subsided over a period of time because of some infighting and some because of lowering of oil prices and also intervention from world powers, that they have not kept their power. Still, when OPEC meetings are happening, the price goes up and down very much. And if one country decides to lower the production, the price goes up, especially Iran and Saudi Arabia. Although Russia is also, and America are also one of the major producers of oil and gas, but they are not part of oil, but they are not part of OPEC. So you need to also see the role of OPEC. How does it affect our Pakistan economy, and how does it affect the international pricing? And there, as you said, that why can't we import the cheaper oil and keep our oil here? You can do that on a short basis when you know that there is an OPEC meeting happening and you have enough homework done that tomorrow or next week the price of oil is going to go much higher, so you need to import maximum ships. And if you know the price is going to go lower, then you need not import ships. So that's why we, unfortunately, this you can ask PSO. That one of the questions that how do you buy international fuel? Are you keeping track of prices going up and down? And if you are, what kind of algorithm, what kind of talent you have to forecast what is the price next week and the week after? And are you hedging? Hedging is that your analysts have made this analysis that in February 2018 the prices of oil will go up, so you want to buy right away. You want to fill up all your tanks right away. And if they tell you that the price in February 2018 is going to be lower, then you wait. Then you deplete your present tanks and you buy in February. So that's called hedging. That you know the future. So you are paying for the oil right now, for the oil that you're going to buy in February. So international forecasters also give international forecasting for 1-2 years, and people buy for 3 years. People who are running refineries, they will buy for the next 3 years. They have so much of talent and so much of inroads and so much of calculations done that they buy oil for 3 years. So that if I'm buying oil, say today I'm buying oil at say just for $50, but my analyst has given me a homework that the price of oil today will be 50, and 3 months ago the price of oil was 45. I could have bought at 45 and saved $5. So because we don't have a free market here, we are always, the government safety net is there. The people of Pakistan are paying for the economy, for my refineries and power plants. So what do I care? I say, यार मुझे पैसा तो वैसे ही मिलना है, चाहे मैं काम करूँ ना करूँ, गवर्नमेंट ने मुझे safety net लगा रखा है, तो मैं तो free market तो है नहीं. But the people in the free market where you don't have any safety net, यहाँ तो अगर एक रिफाइनरी बंद है तो अखबार हड़ताल शुरू हो जाती है. But where there is no safety net, people use their minds. And perhaps Pakistan will also come to a one day when you are in the running the helm of the affairs, that you have to have these calculations done. You have to have this expertise, these trends, these probabilistic analysis that what will be the price of oil in February, so that I can purchase it today or wait till February.